for many reasons over the past year and a half to, I don't know, maybe 2 years, I have tried to be less political. I've always been more religious than political, but in my youth, politics and religion were kind of seen as something very similar. And growing up a conservative, it makes sense. The left seems to hate religion, seems to despise any form of love of God, thinking that there's a creator, thinking there's somebody above you who can, who does judge you and who sets a clear set of morality. And I can understand why somebody who wants maximum freedom would want to do away with those sorts of things. But anyway, that's just a little thing on the left, I guess, in some political context. So I've been very unpolitical, and I've also stopped following political things and paying attention to them as little as possible. Like some of my entertainment, I used to listen to a bunch of podcasts that were all politically charged, and they were very fun to listen to. Very entertaining people who I won't name, who also I felt were very insightful and very intelligent. I was part of the anti-war movement with like Scott Horton and the Libertarian Institute as a like supporter and fan, and like, you know, that was kind of something I thought about a lot and was a big fan of, and I had to turn against that after October 7th because disgustingly a lot of people who I once admired for their heart and conviction and their like disregard, none of their dislike, their hatred of innocent blood being shed, turned out that when it was Jews, they kind of got a pass, you know, like it was okay for Hamas to do what they did. And I'm not okay with that for several reasons. First of all, I find it morally repugnant. I think it's super wrong. And while I feel like I can hate the state of Israel as far as the government is concerned, because I hate all states, basically, I feel like they're a perversion of what they should be. And I'm not even sure that I can like religiously say that based on what my beliefs are. But as far as personally, that's how I feel. And if you don't hate the state enough, then you don't know enough. Iran is this big bad monster. Probably, possibly, but the Iranian regime was, our CIA, the United States of America, actually assassinated their moderate leader. Women were wearing pants. Not that I necessarily want women wearing pants. They weren't wearing hijabs. They were like a very non-Muslim country. Like they were culturally Muslim, like America is culturally Christian today. And when you have people who are culturally part of their religion, they're a lot less dangerous than people who are fundamentally and rabidly passionate about their religion. And that's what we got thanks to the United States and their whatever they were doing, their empire building, their, I don't know what you want to call it. However, now Iran is a threat and Israel is defending itself against Iran, and people say that this is a mutually beneficial thing for the United States because apparently, according to some, I don't know that I believe this actually, or maybe I do, I'm not sure, Iran is, you know, gunning for America. First the little Satan, then the big Satan. And there's Jewish people who I love and who I support and who I've sent money to, who say these things. And I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know because I'm trying to raise my family, I'm trying to earn a living, trying to become a career author, doing lots of other things, and trying to, you know, pray and be connected to God. And like, I can't really concern myself with geopolitics anymore. It's just, it's too much. It's too much, and I'm too little and too insignificant to do that kind of stuff. But anyway, I say all that to say that I'm still in support of what Israel's doing, what the Israeli government, the Israeli military is doing with these attacks against Iran. And I'm hoping that they take this momentum and they completely clear out Gaza and eject whatever place all the people who are there somewhere else, that they take full sovereignty over Gaza like they had before. They gave it over to people who ended up perpetrating October 7th, people who ended up destroying what the Jews who had lived there built, and that I want it to go back into Jewish hands, and I want all of Israel. And even, well, I want Israel to be at its full borders and beyond. I want Mashiach to come now, and I want everything to be expanded out. And like that's who I am. That's part of, you know, my worldview. But again, going back to politics, I was really impressed by Charlie Kirk. I've never really listened to him. I've heard of him as TPUSA when I used to listen to Tim Pool. He would talk about Charlie Kirk and, you know, joke about how he, you know, Turning Point USA, it's TPUSA, like, you know, toilet paper, and that's like a, I don't know, a little silly thing. But there's all these videos of Charlie Kirk, you know, this, you know, white, you know, clean cut guy with his, you know, hair done in a certain way and everything, like, you know, destroying, you know, 20-year-old blue-haired girl on college campus. And it's just like, I'm not really interested in those. I'm not really interested in those from Ben Shapiro either. Like that brand of conservatism has always irritated me, and I didn't like it. And I was more of a libertarian by the time I got to the point of checking those things out. And anyway, I'm more of an ANCAP anyway, still in my heart, even if I have. Well, the great thing is being a libertarian and having the views that I have, it's all about you do what you want and you dissociate from people who you don't want to be with. So I can't remember the actual term for it, but I've chosen to excise those people from my life and from my feeds and things like that. And I just don't associate with them. Well, freedom of association, there we go. Because I have freedom of association, I never associate with those kinds of conservatives, and I don't associate with certain types of, ANCAPs now, or most of them, because it's just they fail, in my opinion. They fail to be worth my time and energy. But I was really impressed by Charlie Kirk. He was talking to, I guess there's a Jewish guy who works with him. He has a book called, I don't know, something like Israel and Democracy, Israel and the Rest of the World. I don't know what he's called, but his name is like Ben Hammer, I think. Anyway, he was in Israel with his wife and baby. Sounds like just one kid at this point, young guy, so it makes sense. I have more than one kid, so and I'm not so young, but anyway, they had a really interesting conversation about how. Well, it was just a really fascinating conversation that Charlie Kirk was saying, like, he's a conservative, but he doesn't want conservatives to, go to the siren call of war. And he says that this conflict should be short, and no prolonged war is good for a country or its people, which is something I've quoted recently from Jack Spirko of the Survival Podcast, too. He got it from Sun Tzu from The Art of War. And I think that's probably true, because I think Sun Tzu was, he knew his war stuff. And it's obvious, like, I think we're around 600. We're over 613 days of this war in Gaza that Israel's doing, and or fighting, I should say, not perpetrating, but they're fighting it. And like it feels too long. But then with this Iranian stuff, it feels a little bit better, because if they're taking out the ability for the Iranians to attack them, and supposedly they only did this because they had intelligence that within days Iran was going to launch a nuclear missile at Israel. If you just look at the math of it. If they've killed, like, for sure there were 80 people killed in the attacks that Israel did, Mossad did, on June the 13th. June the 13th into the 14th, I don't know how the international dateline type stuff works, but somewhere along that. If you look at the minuscule number of deaths that happened, and most of them were military targets, but there were civilian casualties as well, which is awful. It's horrible. And, please God, these people will be, I don't know what, but I feel badly for them. I feel badly for their families. However, there's something in the Talmud that if somebody rises to come and kill you, you should rise earlier and kill him first. If that's what Iran was doing, planning on launching a nuclear missile at Israel, killing millions of people, Israel killing less than 100, to take out that infrastructure and stop Iran from being able to launch a nuclear missile is a good thing, in my opinion. And yeah, I'm pro Second Amendment. I want people to have guns. I want people to have weapons. I think it's great. I think, friendly gun having people make, good neighbors and make good friends and make for a safer society, safer city, safer state, whatever. But that doesn't mean I'm pro all nuclear proliferation, because some people are bad actors and some people are good actors. Israel probably stole nuclear arms from the United States in the 1970s. And that's supposed to be a secret, but it's kind of like an open secret. They have nuclear capability, and they have not yet attacked any of their enemies. So them stopping the Iranians from having nuclear weapons, I think is a good thing. I think it's justified. And I think there's no fear of, what do they call it? Not mutually assured destruction, maybe. Attrition, deterrence. There's no threat of Israel needing, Israel does not need a deterrence factor applied to them in order for them to not nuke and murder a bunch of people all around them, because they've had the nukes for decades, like 50 years I think now, and they haven't done it yet. And if they were going to do it, they would have done it already, I think. Whereas supposedly the Iranians have been this close to getting the nuclear bomb. That's my Bibi Netanyahu. They're this close for years, and they haven't done anything. Is that because what was it called? The cyber attack? They made the centrifuges spin out of control. Stuxnet virus, I believe, back in 2010, 2005, something like that. Anyway, the Israelis have been messing with the Iranians' nuclear program for a long time, and the Iranians keep going at it. And if it's because they want to kill the Jews, then Israel should keep doing it. And they should I'm not saying they should destroy, they should nuke, no, that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying they should destroy the government of Iran. It's a little ironic because I criticized the United States CIA for 50 years ago having killed the moderate guy and helping put in a crazy Islamist fundamentalist I guess maybe I'm saying Israel should do the opposite now and fix the mistake of the United States all those years ago. I don't know. But definitely they should, if they can effectively shoot the gun out of the hand of the Iranians, then they should do that. And I think that's what they've done. And I'm in full support of it. And I want them to go farther and free Gaza, free the hostages if they can, if there's any of them left alive, which there's very few left alive from what I hear, and just be over with this. And Israel to assert sovereignty and say, screw you, world, we're going to do what we're going to do. This is the right thing to do. And we're moral actors, and we don't need to justify ourselves to you. We are a sovereign nation with the ability to do these things. So we're going to do them. And if you don't like it, then too bad. We're not asking for permission. We have permission from God, and we have his blessing. And I think there's obviously open miracles happening. And I just pray that what happens from this is that more Jews will make Aliyah and go to the land of Israel. More Jews in Israel will become religious, and more Jews out of Israel also will turn and say, maybe God is working for our people, and we should pay attention to him and figure out, how to honor him and serve him and love him and be a light to the nations and be a blessing to the world, because that's our mission. Oops, we've not been doing that for a while. We need to get back on that. And yeah, I think that's very good. And I'm nobody right now. I don't have an author career. I want to have an author career. I'm putting this out here because I just, I didn't make statements against COVID. I didn't make statements about a lot of things. I didn't make big statements on October 7th. I want to be apolitical, but I'm just going to put this out there. I really love it. Charlie Kirk interview. I'll try to link it here with this video. It was like him covering the news, not so much an interview, but he did have a little interview in there with Hammer, which is an awesome last name too. He's the Hebrew Hammer. Anyway, don't watch that movie. It's very inappropriate. You can watch it if you want to. It's up to you. It's your choice. Anyway, but I don't know. I just want to put something out there in the world to say yeah, I'm making this statement, and if it hurts me, oh well. I'll keep working my 9-to-5 job, and I'll keep trying my best. And if I believe God's going to protect me, God's going to be with me, he's going to bless me for trying and doing my best. And that's what I'm going to keep doing. And if people hate me and attack me, oh well, it's too bad. I'm a Zionist trying to take over the world or whatever. It's fine. It doesn't matter. Anyway, God bless you. God bless the state of Israel. God bless the nation of Israel, more importantly than the state of Israel. God bless the people of Israel all around the world. And through that blessing, may we all see peace and freedom and love spread. And may we see the coming of Messiah ben David speedily in our days. And all the world to turn away from idolatry, away from falsehood, to the truth, to the fact and the knowledge of God and his Torah. And may we all be living in peace and brotherhood together, because that's the goal. That's what God wanted from the beginning, the Garden of Eden. That's what we need to go back to. So we need to turn towards Eden. We need to turn towards God. We need to turn towards his word and love him and serve him and seek to be in harmony with each other and ourselves. And we'll all be happier if we do that. God bless you. Bye. This is MJ.